In this video, plan to suit up as we have a look at the brand new Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming. This is the Spider-Man in his homemade suit. Seriously digging the look of the Spider-Man in his homemade outfit. Before we look at him, let's have a look at the lackluster wing. It's basically just the mirror copy to, I think it's actually this wing here. I've just got the two side by side. One was already with the Spider-Man Homecoming regular suit, and then one is the homemade suit. I mean, they're just kind of mirror copies, you know, flip over copies to one another. There's nothing really added to them. You still got to add the turbines, you got to add the extra wings. Not really much to be said for it. So for that reason, I'm not going to say anything else. We're just going to put those to the side. Yeah, I'm really liking the vibe here I'm getting from the homemade suit here. It very much reads like the Scarlet Spider to me, which is still one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes. In fact, like looking at it, it just looks exactly like the costume, right down to the bracelet of web shooters capsules. And again, the hoodie and the spider emblem there on the front. Now, speaking of hoodie, the Spider-Man hoodie here sits very loose, unfortunately. It lines up pretty good to the spider emblem, but without any means for it to attach to the torso like so, it always will sit very loosey-goosey. And one thing I'm not crazy about is loosey-goosey hoods. Just a quick comparison. There's the Homecoming homemade suit, and there is the regular Spider-Man suit that we've already looked at in the video, actually, the video just before. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, feel free to check that out afterwards. Like, again, the costume, I just feel like he's got way too much unnecessary paint wash over top of the webbing that kind of takes away from the figure. The contrast, though, is the homemade costume has much more singular colors. In fact, there's really very little in the way of washes that's been added over top of the existing figure. Like it's pretty much primary, not primary from the standpoint of colors, but primary being a sole color applied. There's only your lighter blues and your reds. The face is pretty good. The white I don't think is as pasty as the other Spider-Man face had. Paint is very, very clean. I like also that they've added the way that they've painted the silver on, it's got like a slight brushing to it. I don't know why I like that so much, but I really dig it. Like it looks like it's more metallic to me. He does have fingerless gloves. Everybody's wearing fingerless gloves. And kind of got like a legging thing going on here. Something like, I feel like he plays soccer or something. He's got these long kind of socks kind of things with his shoes. Painted on the undersides of his soles, he's got just a band of black that's been added. And the black does a nice job of kind of breaking up somewhat seemingly like an otherwise boring sort of color palette. Now going back to his collar here, as I mentioned, it's a little on the loose side. If you prefer something a little bit more completely covered, he does also have the same sort of idea where you can cover it over his head. Just to do that, you want to pop the head off of the figure, slide this off, and then you want to replace the head. We want to do that first. There we go. And then you can, oh no, I did do that wrong. Put the hood on first, and then do your best to kind of tuck Spider-Man's head in there as well. It's not easy, unfortunately. In fact, let's bring the neck down a little bit. Bring the head ball joint down a little bit, the neck ball joint. Pop that into place. And then when you get the head kind of already in there, then you can do your best to kind of get it completely onto the ball joint. And it's, I don't know, I'm not digging it. It looks, granted I don't have the head completely back, but it looks, he kind of has like, it kind of makes him look a little bit more alien. I don't know why, it just looks a little more spooky alien to me. So I think between the two looks, I like the folded back hood a little bit more in my personal preference. I like that there's wrinkles also in the actual hood and a few little fold sculpts there added. In fact, actually, bang up job on the folds and the creases, especially under his arms. I like how that's all bunched up there. He has a couple of other accessories as well. I say a couple, he really only has two other, and it's essentially the same thing, the flipped opposite. So while he, out of packaging, has a closed fist and a partially open spider shooting hand, he has also a closed fist and basically the same thing flipped. So if you want to have both hands with the web shooting hands, you can do that. Just pop that out, replace the hand, and then you can get both hands shooting the webs. Let's go ahead and take this hood off. I don't like this hood myself. Again, I guess too, what you could do is put the head into the hood. That's probably the easiest. Put the head into the hood, yeah, then pop it onto the socket as your easiest means. Let's get the head completely out. There we go. Replace the hood. Do it the right way, of course. And once again, the head. There we go. Now let's run through his posability. Spider-Man in his homemade suit has a ball joint, hinges up and down. Also a nice additional hinge going on there, which I like. He has hinged shoulders. You can rotate the arms all the way around. I mean, if you're a Marvel Legends collector, nothing here is brand new to the table. This is tried and true Marvel Legends 101. Double hinge on the elbow. You got your rotation in the hand, as well as a hinge. Upper torso crunch, rotation in the waist. Ball joint legs, swivel on the thigh, double hinge knee. A rotation actually right underneath this section here is the area where this part rotates. And a hinge up and down, and your ankle pivot. Good looking figure. One of the problems I had with the basic line of figures was they were missing posability. And I guess really the logic is, Hasbro, why would they release a fully articulated basic class figure at $15 when these guys here can be sold for about $25? I like that. I like both figures. I think the paint is a lot cleaner on this guy than on the original, on the Spider-Man costume. But I like that they are very two distinct looks, and I'm glad that they're actually entertaining. I haven't seen the movie, obviously, because the movie's not out yet, but I'm glad that they're entertaining the idea that he would have two suits in the movie, making not a quick rush through origin story in which he uses the suit. It seems like he's got the original suit for a good chunk of the movie, which I do like. Might also be to the fact that I also have a little bit of a soft spot when it comes to the Scarlet Spider costume, that this so much is such a cool costume for me. I'd like to get my hands on the Hot Toys version of this guy when he eventually gets released. But if you can find these guys, they're a little bit harder to, they're fairly new still in stores to pick up. But I really do like this costume quite a bit on the homemade costume. Today we were checking out the brand new Hasbro Marvel Legends. This was the Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming wave. And while the wings were a little not exciting so far, I gotta admit, I really do like the homemade costume. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button down below and you're good to go. And as well, did you know that there's a Spider-Man Homecoming playlist on this channel? There is such a thing, and where you can head over there and not only see the other figures from the Marvel Legends that we're going to be looking at, but you'll also be able to see the basic figures that I've already covered a couple of weeks ago as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.